What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and I want to do another video on this nice day here. So this almost going into autumn day right here. And I want to talk to you about a very key part of art. Okay, and this is the composition. Now, I'm pretty sure many artists have heard this term before, composition. Or maybe some haven't, I don't know. But I want to break it down. Composition, in a nutshell, is basically the parts of the subject that come together to that come together, for the subject matter of the piece. With all that being said, is simply composition is just like the parts of the piece itself. Like if you were like someone says, I want to compose a symphony. Well, the key word is compose. Composition, compose. Or when something is composed of something, means it has different parts. Like the human body is composed of blank blank blank. Same thing with art. This drawing is composed of blank blank blank. And what happens is a lot of people don't understand how to use composition effectively. Not to make sound some kind of guru, but you ever went to, well, you ever seen a piece of art, right? I can say for myself too. I've been guilty of this. You ever seen a piece of art and the subject matter of the art, right? The subject matter. You're looking at it, you're seeing what the piece consists of, and then you look at the parts, right? You look at the individual parts of that piece, and for some odd reason, when you're looking at it, the pieces don't seem to fit in order to convey that particular message, right? You ever noticed that? You ever seen you can see let's say you want like parts of a building, right? Like building, and you're looking at this particular painting or drawing, and look at the composition, the things that make up that particular piece. And whenever you do, there seems to be something off with everything can be good. Like 90% of it can be fluid, can be consistent. But there's one piece that like throws it all off. And usually when an artist makes a piece, they want to be consistent in their composition. They want to be consistent in their composition, right? Meaning they want to show consistency. They want to show that this piece is steady. It flows. I mean, unless that is the purpose of the piece, is to just take your eye off of something or to distract you from something. If that's the case, then fine. But in most cases, even if someone is trying to throw you off, the composition usually is still consistent with the rest of it, so it can excuse me, so it can excuse me, pardon me, sorry. So it can give the viewer a clear idea, and the eyes can follow it and say, okay, I get where this artist is trying to go. I see throughout all of this. I understand the message. Okay, the parts of the painting or the parts of the drawing that are put together to convey a certain message, I see it. I get it. I see what they're trying to do. I get the message. Composition is not just, okay, let me just put some stuff together and hope someone get it. No. Composition is really important because it's the equivalent of saying to someone, what if you're writing a story, right? And once you write, you just give it to the person. Well, as the viewer of that writing, you're going to ask the question, well, the who, what, when, where, why, and all that. So, I was always told that you always write as if the person does not know, right? Even if the person is familiar with the subject, you write it as though they do not know because you want to bring them to a place of thought that, to your place of thought that they may have not considered, but they're going to always ask questions. Same thing in art, same thing in a painting, same thing in a drawing or sculpture or something like that. You want the person viewing your art to see consistency to the point where they understand fully. Like, they don't have to say, well, what's this, or why is this, or what do you mean by this? Like, usually when there's questions, unless you're like an abstract piece, but normally once you have described the message to the viewer, and then they look at the piece, and then they look at all the parts of the painting, the composition, and when you explain it to them, they should be able to say, okay, I get it. Based off of what you explained, and based off of what I see, I get it. And the way you do that to the viewer is by the composition, is by the parts of the painting that went into the painting or went into the drawing that brought light to your ideas. And when the viewer sees your idea, they can say, okay, I get it. I understand I see what you're trying to do. I get it. I understand the story now. Even if I've never heard of the story before, based off of what you put, the pieces you put together, the composition, the subject matter, and from what you explain, I could take what you have explained, look at the piece, and say, Eureka, I got it. That's very important. Like, composition is like the words to a story. It's like the words to a story. Each word gives the story life. The words are the compositions of the story. And depending on what you're painting or what you're drawing, that composition gives life to your art. And usually when you do it right, it'll be understood. Colors come into play. The certain lines you use come into play. Even if it's a bright color, the brighter the color could be a different message. A thin line versus a thick line. It could even be the size of the canvas. Even the size of the canvas matters. Even that matters. The paint matters because, glossy paint versus matte paint give off a different feeling, a different vibe, when you're painting. The shapes being used matters. Small shapes, you could do a painting with a small triangle, and next to it could be a big triangle. It all matters. All those things matter. Size, shape, color, line, texture, the illusion of texture. All those are part of the composition that, when put in certain combinations, you are able to understand or able to explain your ideas, right? Art basically expresses emotion, it expresses ideas and philosophies. And your composition is what brings those things to life. Okay? So, thank you all for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. I will catch you all later. Peace.